we have Kirsten Hommelhoff. Thank you so much for being here today. You are the CEO, the Managing Director of the BVDM, the German Print and Media Association. Thank you for joining us today.
Good morning. I'm very glad to be here.
Thank you. Kirsten, the aspect of sustainability is, I think, on top of mind when one thinks of the print industry. I would like to know, have you seen any innovations that really excite you, that really address the problem of sustainability as we have it?
Yes, of course. Actually, there's one project I would like to talk about, which is actually not that young. It's more than 30 years old. Now, 30 years old. It was set up in 1994. And at that time, politicians raised the need to do something or to improve the environmental footprint of the industry. So what happened is that the print and media associations, the publishing associations, and the paper industries and associations, they came together and they said, we need to do something. And they set up a commitment to the Ministry of Environment in Germany. And so the whole project is about the recycling cycle of paper. So they said they would raise the amount of recycled paper when using printing materials. And what started off in 1994 with a recycling rate of 53% ended now with a recycling rate of 84%. So one can say Germany is really world champion when it comes to using recycled paper in the printing industry. So I'm very proud about that,
very nice.
Of that project.
That's a beautiful story.
Yeah.
Kirsten, also AI is already prevalent in so many applications in the print industry. What do you think will the impact of AI be in the coming future, and must we think about legislation specifically about it?
Well, I guess AI will have a great impact, and I also think a positive impact actually on the printing industry. Take, for example, the whole production process. It will, of course, accelerate the whole production process. If it comes to shortage of skilled workers, it can, of course, help find skilled workers. This is a great challenge in the whole German industry, but of course also in the printing industry. If it comes to layouts, for example, take a couple of years ago, if you had a prospect, for example, or a magazine, and you sent the layout, for example, to another country because you wanted people or workers who are not as expensive as in Germany to work on the layout. This took time. For example, this is an example where the AI can take over. Or, for example, if you have a magazine and you want to print it in another country with a different ethical background, for example, the AI can also help you work on that. So I think it will have a massive impact. It will have a massive impact on mass customization, of course, as well, which is a big trend also in the printing industry. And if you ask me about legal trends, of course, this will also, of course, affect many legal aspects. And so we had the AI Act, which was issued this year by the European Parliament, which I think is a great step into the right direction.
Very good.
Because for the first time now we have an act which helps create trust for consumers in the AI technology, and this is something we definitely need. But of course it will also have an impact on data, questions of data labor law, data security, of course, labor law, intellectual property law. So it has got many legal aspects that you should take a closer look at. And many questions haven't been answered so far.
Thank you. Kirsten, also, let's quickly have a look at the time during the pandemic. There was a great shift towards digital print. When we're looking at Germany, what sort of trends have you noticed that are that we can say are post-pandemic?
I mean, of course, the pandemic has had a great impact on the printing industry, and not only, of course, in positive sides, but there are some positive aspects. I mean, just to give you an idea in how far it has affected the printing industry, people have changed their media usage. For example, now newspapers start to digitize. Of course, the whole advertising budget has decreased, and that, of course, also had a great impact on the printing industry. However, what we still see is, at least in the German context, still that 75% of Germans still welcome, for example, printed advertising in their letterboxes. Or we still know that even if people buy online, we see that they base their decisions on what to buy online on flyers and brochures and printed mailings. So this, of course, is a trend. This is good for the printing industry. If it comes to packaging, of course, also during the pandemic, people started to order food. So So if you go into the typical German supermarket, we always say like there are 200,000 products with printed labels and printed pizza boxes, all that stuff. And that, of course, had a positive impact. So the whole packaging industry, packaging printing industry was positively affected by this.
That is good news.
Yeah.
One more question. You have taken over the role as the managing director beginning of the year of the German Print and Media Association. What goals do you have? What vision do you have for the association within the next 4 years? And what sort of tasks and I think actionable steps will come out of that?
Well, the German printing industry has been in a big transformation for many years now. Up to now, we have 6,900 printing industries companies so far in Germany. We see that this might halve in the next 10 years. So also we as an association, we always have to ask ourselves, what are the services we provide to the companies? What kind of networks we need to have? And one focus, or one thing I would really like to focus on is the whole lobbying aspect. Because we see already now that in terms of regulation, there's so much regulation coming, especially from the European Union, and regulation that affects the small and medium-sized companies, because the printing area in Germany is basically mainly small and medium-sized companies, so we see the effects are huge on them. So I think doing a good lobbying on the national, but especially on the European level, together with our European association Intergraph, is most important. And then, of course, we already touched upon that sustainability will be more important.
Absolutely.
So also to see what companies need to do. This is the second part. And the third part, the shortage of skilled labor, is of course a big challenge to the whole German industry, but especially also to the printing industry. So these are three main topics I would like to focus on, and AI might be a tool to overcome, to help us.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Kirsten, thank you so much for your time. I think there is some big tasks ahead.
Absolutely.
But I wish you all success, and I think it'll be very successful.
Thank you so much.
Much appreciated. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.